Good morning. I am A.D.M.COLLEGE, DEVI, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, A.D.M.COLLEGE for Women, Autonomous, Nagapattinam. Today I am going to discuss about Java Applet. Concept of Applet programming. Java support two types of programming: application program, applet program. Application program. Application is a program that runs on your computer under the operating system of that computer. Applet program. An applet is an application designed to be transmitted over the internet and executed by a Java compatible web browser. Applet. Applet is a small program that are primarily used in internet computing. They can be transported over the internet from one computer to another and run using Applet Viewer or Java compatible web browser. Java Applet is a Java class that you embed in a HTML page and is downloaded and executed by a web browser. Applet cannot be executed directly. For running an applet, HTML file must be created which tells the browser what to load and how to run it. Applet begins execution via loading of a HTML page containing it after the Java enabled web browser or Applet Viewer is required to run an applet. Now, web pages not only contain static text or simply image, but it can also perform arithmetic operations, display graphics, play sounds and moving images. We can embed applet into web pages in two ways. First one, we can write our own applet and embed them into web pages. Second one, we can download an applet from a remote computer system and then embed it into a web page. Loading for displaying applet. Next, types of applet. Local applet. An applet developed locally and stored in a local system is known as local applet. When a web page is trying to find a local applet, it does not need to use the internet and therefore the local system does not require the internet connection. It simply search the directories in the local system and locate and load the specified applet. User can write his own applet and embed them into web pages. These are the examples for local applet. Next, remote applet. An applet which is developed by someone else and stored on a remote computer connected to the internet is known as remote applet. If our system is connected to the internet, we can download the remote applet onto our system via internet and then run it. User can thus download an applet from remote computer system. In order to locate and load a remote applet, we must know the applet address on web. This address is known as URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. URL and must be specified in the applet HTML document as the value of the code base attribute. These are the examples for remote applet. Next, limitations of applet. Applet do not need a main method. Applet runs under a applet viewer or a Java compatible web browser. Applet are restricted from using libraries from other languages such as C, C++. Applet cannot read or write files on the web user disk. If information must be saved to disk as an applet is executing, the storage of information must be done on the disk from which the web page is served. Applet cannot run any program on the web user system, including browser plugin, ActiveOS control or other browser related items. Some of Java functionality like removal of pointers, verification of bytecode and restricted remote and local file access blocked for applet because of security concerns. When to use applet? When we need something dynamic to be included in the display of a web page. When we require some flash output, for example, applet that produce sounds, animations or some special effect would be used when displaying certain pages. When we want to create a program and make it available on the internet for us by others on their computers. Difference between applet and application. Applet is dynamic program which is run on browser. Application can read, write files on the web disk. Applet do not use the main method for initiating the executing of the code. Application can communicate with other server on the network. Applet cannot be run independently. They must be run under the Applet viewer or a Java compatible web browser. Application program can run from local computer. Applet class. Java.applet.applet class is actually a subclass of Java AWT panel. Java Applet is smallest package in Java API. It consists of single class applet and 3 interfaces such as applet contest, applet stub and audio clip. The applet class contains only a single default parameter less constructor which is not used generally. Applet are constructed by the runtime environment. When they are loaded, they do not have to be explicitly constructed. Applet class contains 21 methods that are used to display image, play audio files, respond to event and obtain information about applet execution environment. These are refers to as applet context. These are the hierarchy for applet class and methods of applet class. Destroy. Called by the browser or applet viewer to inform this applet that it is being reclaimed and that it should destroy any resources that it has allocated. Get applet context method determine this applet context which allows the applet to query and affect the environment in which it runs. Get applet info method return the information about this applet. Get audio clip of URL method return the audio clip object specified by the URL argument. Get audio clip method return the audio clip object specified by the URL and name argument. Get code based method get the base URL. Get document based method refers to get the document URL. Get image method is returns to image object that can then painted on the screen. Get image of URL string method is returns on image object that can then be painted on the screen. Get locate method returns to locate for the applet if it has been set. Get parameter of string method return the value of the name parameter in the HTML tag. Get parameter of info method return the information about the parameter then are understood by the applet. Next init method. Next is active method. Is active method determine if this applet is active. Play method returns the audio clip at the specified absolute URL. Play of URL string method play the audio clip given the URL and specify that is relative to it. Next resize. Resize method requires that this applet to be resized. Resize of init method requires that this applet be resized. Set stub of applet stub. Set this applet stub. Show status of string method requires that the argument string be displayed in the status window. Next start method. Start method called by the browser or applet viewer to inform this applet that it should start its execution. Next stop method called by the browser or applet viewer to inform this applet that it should stop its execution. Next life cycle of an applet. It is important to understand the order in which the various methods shown in the skeleton are called. When an applet begins, the following methods are called in this sequence. There are 5 stages of applet: init method, start method, paint method, stop method, destroy method. When an applet is terminated, the following sequence of method calls take place as stop and destroy. Next, life cycle of the applet. Init. The init method is the first method to be called. This is where you should initialize variables. This method is called only once during the runtime of your applet. Next, start method. The start method is called after init method. It is also called restart an applet after it has been stopped. Where init method is called once the first time an applet is loaded. The start method is called each time an applet HTML document is displayed on screen. So, if a user leave web pages and come back to applet, resumes execution at start method. Next, paint. The paint method is called each time your applet viewer. Next, stop method. The stop method is called when a web browser leaves the HTML document containing the applet when it goes to another page. Next, destroy method. The destroy method is called when the environment develops that your applet needs to be employed and completely from your memory. Next, requesting the repaint method. One of the important architectural constraints that have been imposed on an applet is that it must quickly return control to the AWT runtime system. It cannot create a loop inside paint method. This would prevent control from passing back to the AWT. Whenever your applet needs to update the information displayed in its window, simply called repaint method. The repaint method is defined by the AWT that causes the AWT runtime system to execute a call to your applet update method, which in turn calls paint method. The AWT will then execute a call to paint method that will display the stored information. Next, the repaint method has 4 forms. The simplest version of repaint is void repaint. This causes the entire window to be repainted. Other versions that will cause repaint. Next, void repaint. If your system is slow or busy, update might not be called immediately. If multiple calls have been made to AWT within a short period of time, then update is not called very frequently. Void repaint or maximum delay is the number of milliseconds should be elapsed before update method is called. Next, steps to developing and testing an applet. First one, building an applet code. Second one, creating an executable applet. Third one, designing a web page using HTML tag. Fourth one, preparing applet tag. Fifth one, incorporating applet tag into web page. Sixth one, creating HTML file. Seventh one, testing the applet code. These are the example format for applet tag. HTML tag. HTML head, title, body, center and applet tag. Next, building applet code. Applet code uses the services of 2 classes, namely applet and graphics from Java class. Applet class is contained in Java applet package, which provides life and behavior to the applet through its methods such as init, start and paint. Applet class maintains the life cycle of an applet. When an applet is loaded, Java automatically calls a series of applet class methods for the starting, running, stopping the applet code. When a paint method is called, it will actually display the result of applet code on the screen. The output may be text, graphics or sound. The paint method requires a graphics object as an argument, public void paint of graphics G. We have to import java.awt package that contains graphics class. All output operations of an applet are performed using the methods defined in the graphics class. The applet class name is the main class for the applet. When the applet is loaded, Java create an instance of this class and then create applet class method or called on that instance to execute the code. Applet class name should be declared public because it is main applet class. These are the general format of applet code. These are the procedures for applet. Java C myapplet.java, applet viewer myapplet.java. Next, how to run an applet. There are two ways to run an applet: by HTML file, by applet viewer tool. Simple example of applet by HTML file. To execute the applet by HTML file, create an applet and compile it. After that, create an HTML file and place the applet code in HTML file. Now click the HTML file. First, Java import java.applet.applet. Import java.awt.graphics. Public class first, extend applet. Public void paint of graphics G. Next, g.draw string. Next, myapplet.html. HTML body applet code equal to first class with 300, height 300. These are ending tag of applet. These are the examples for applet. Thank you.